In the rolling hills and dense woodlands of ancient Europe, long before the rise of Christianity, the connection between nature, spirits, and the divine was seen as a living, breathing force. The people of this time, both humble peasants and high priests, understood the world as filled with unseen forces, spirits that inhabited the trees, the rivers, the mountains, and even the winds. Among the most revered gifts they could offer these spirits, whether in rituals to honor the gods, appease vengeful fairies, or safeguard the souls of the departed, was honey. This sacred food, gathered from the humble yet miraculous work of bees, held a unique power, not just as nourishment, but as a medium between worlds. In many pre-Christian European traditions, honey was considered a substance of great magic and potency. It was believed to have the power to appease and connect with the otherworldly. When offering honey to spirits, it was not merely about the sweetness of the gift, but about the reverence with which it was presented. It was common to leave small offerings of honey in bowls or jars at the foot of trees or near sacred stones, places believed to be portals to the spirit world. Sometimes, honey was poured into the ground itself, ensuring that the spirits of the earth would receive their due tribute, ensuring fertility, protection, and good fortune. The fairies, those mischievous and capricious creatures of the forest, were said to delight in honey, and offering them a gift of it might secure their favor, while an insult could lead to mischief and harm. The honey was left not only as an offering, but as a form of communication, a symbolic gesture of respect and an acknowledgement of the interconnectedness of all life. These offerings were not restricted only to spirits or fairies. Honey was also integral in the rituals surrounding death. In Celtic and Germanic traditions, honey was placed in the graves of the deceased, ensuring that their journey into the afterlife would be sweet and smooth. It was believed that the spirit of the dead might still hunger in the next realm, and honey, being the most revered of all foods, was seen as an offering that could sustain them as they made their way into the great unknown. Sometimes honey was mixed with other ingredients like milk or fruit, blending the sacredness of the two offerings. In these traditions, honey became more than a symbol of life. It was a way of ensuring that the passage from this world to the next was smooth, providing a bridge between the living and the dead. But honey's mystical significance wasn't limited just to these ceremonial uses. It was believed to possess potent protective qualities, making it a natural choice for use in charms, potions, and spells. In the pagan traditions, honey was often used in healing rituals to ward off illness and promote health, not just for humans, but for the land itself. The ancient practice of placing honey in wounds to help with healing or applying it to sacred objects to keep them pure is well documented. Honey's antibacterial properties, which modern science now validates, were well understood by those ancient people, though perhaps not in the technical terms we use today. They observed that honey could preserve food, prevent spoilage, and protect against decay. This made it ideal for use in preserving sacred offerings. Items like ceremonial bowls, amulets, and even the food left at altars to the gods. The substance's natural preservative power was seen as a way to keep the sacred items safe from the ravages of time, corruption, or malevolent forces. The antibacterial properties of honey are particularly remarkable, as it is one of the few natural substances capable of staving off bacteria without any need for modern chemical preservatives. Honey's high sugar content, low moisture levels, and acidic pH all combine to create an environment that is inhospitable to bacteria and mold. Ancient cultures recognized this quality, and so honey became a key ingredient in the preservation of sacred rituals and food. When placed on altars or used in offerings, honey symbolized not just nourishment, but eternal care, a way to protect the sanctity of the moment and the connection between the living and the spiritual world. In addition to its preservative and healing properties, honey was also associated with divine sweetness, a connection between the earthly and the celestial. Whether offered to the spirits of the forest or placed in the graves of the departed, honey held the sacred task of nurturing, preserving, and connecting. It was in essence a food of the gods, something that bridged realms, honored the dead, and protected the living. The sweetness of honey transcended its taste, becoming a representation of life's most beautiful and enduring qualities. Sweetness, longevity, and the mysterious power of the earth to sustain and protect. In many ways, these ancient practices with honey remind us of the importance of reverence for nature and the unseen forces that shape our world. The simple act of offering honey to the spirits, to the gods, or to the deceased was a way of acknowledging the sacredness of life. The understanding that even the smallest gift, the humblest offering, can carry great power. In an age where much of our food and rituals are divorced from nature's cycles, the traditions of using honey as an offering to the divine, to spirits, and to ancestors remind us of a time when life was seen as deeply interwoven with the rhythms of the earth and the unseen currents of the spiritual world. Honey, in its purity and simplicity, remains a symbol of that deep connection, one that still resonates in our hearts today.